Kaleb, watch out, I've worked on a farm in Australia. The Clarkson's farm star is off down under. Mind the snakes, warns Katherine Fidler. Don't go in the shed, there was a brown snake in there. I'm sorry, is. Some clarity would be nice, but then Australians are famously laid back, and that extends to one of the world's deadliest animals. And so that day on the farm, one of hundreds during my gap year down under, carried on as normal beneath the relentless Queensland sun. Cows and horses to feed, fences to mend, tractors to service, and no one else seemingly concerned by the conundrum: if said brown snake has vacated the shed, where is it now? We never did find out, just assumed it had gone after we found its discarded skin. Snakes are more aggressive after shedding, which added an extra frisson of excitement to subsequent days. But nearly 2 decades on, I still think of the snake, the skin, and that dusty shed when I look back on my year in Australia. I'd traveled out there with a company called Out Backpackers, which specialized in helping people earn a second 12-month working holiday visa by completing the required 88 days of farm work without the backbreaking grind of fruit picking. And having worked on farms in the UK before relocating to the other side of the world, I can tell Kaleb Cooper is in for a shock. The 27-year-old farmer from Chipping Norton and star of Clarkson's Farm is going to Australia to film his own show, with the working title Kaleb, Down Under. When he gets there, the first thing he'll notice is the size. Everything is massive, including the 11-finger Kit Kats. He may not be as excited about those as I was. If you've seen Clarkson's Farm, you may remember the team mocking Jeremy Clarkson for having bought a somewhat oversized Lamborghini tractor, too big to fit in his snake-free shed. As the Aussies would say, that's a tiddler compared to the ones over there. The tractors are huge, often with a double row of tires. The utes, aka pickup trucks, are huge. The burgers are huge. The country is huge. I once drove 6 hours inland from Brisbane and figured I must be halfway to Uluru at least. I'd barely left the suburbs. It doesn't even seem right to say the fields are huge, because some of them are basically counties, although nothing like Cooper's beloved Oxfordshire. Also, they call them paddocks, which is even more ironic given that a paddock over here is a small field. And the tractoring, as Clarkson would say, mainly done at night on my first job because it was so hot during the day. That was extra fun the time my rake crumbled apart like a house of cards, strips of metal raining down into the grass in the pitch black, gingerly retrieved while on high snake alert. Ditto the night the boss told me to wrap up early and sleep on a massive bale of straw for the rest of the night, after a thorough serpent survey. Sadly, a huge storm blew through the area soon after, wrecking the entire harvest and thus leaving us with no work. Cooper will be familiar with the oversized impact weather and climate have on farming, but, again, over there, it's just bigger. After a short stint on a dressage yard in Tasmania, beautiful, didn't see a devil, very disappointed, I was invited back to Out Backpackers to work on its 2 farms, one in Newcastle, which is a Geordie I loved, and a beef farm in Gympie, southeast Queensland, training a new cohort of hopeful jackaroos and jillaroos each week. This is where the fun really started. Tractors are all right, but they don't compare to herding cattle across a steep wooded hillside on a motorbike, scrambling over scree, quickly envisaging myself a fearless cross between John Wayne and Valentino Rossi. Then again, I did fall off a motorbike while stationary, so maybe not. It happens, I shan't explain how. Better, though, than the student who lost control of a quad bike, crashing through a wire fence and coming alarmingly close to decapitation. I still go cold remembering the sight of her lying flat on the quad as we cut away the wires, but she was lucky. Less lucky was my boss, who was bitten on the hand by a redback spider just before I arrived. He said it was like a red-hot poker being driven through the entire length of his arm. In classic Aussie style, he didn't go to hospital, just drank a bottle of whiskey. That accident book Cooper was so concerned about in the show. He may not find it so comprehensive over there. Considering that I was attempting to teach future Jack and Jillaroos to ride in a week, there were surprisingly few horse-related incidents. Rule number 1. If you fall off in the outback, do not let go of your horse at any cost. Never mind yourself or the accident book, if you're in a 4,000 square mile paddock, you can't afford to lose them. Quite aside from then owing your boss a new horse, their welfare is at stake. My pet project Billy, a young Appaloosa, was an excellent case in point, his sole aim in life apparently being to dislodge me. Without success. Also unable to shake me off, the lifelong friends I made that year. I still speak to the Out Backpackers team and have hosted them when they come over here. Aussies may be laid back, but they're also incredibly fun and friendly, something I hope Cooper finds too. And it wasn't just the farming community. I spent my last few weeks doing more traditional backpacking, Calgary, Fraser Island, the Whitsundays, the classic East Coast Trail, and wherever I went, I was welcomed, usually with a beer. Which reminds me, I kid you not, for a few weeks there was a python wrapped around one of the rafters in our beer shed. No one cared, snake included. She was massive and very laid back. Australia in a nutshell. Clarkson's Farm star Kaleb Cooper to film new solo series in Australia. Australian fans of hit UK show Clarkson's Farm can look forward to seeing some even more familiar paddock scenes and farming faces in a new spin-off series about to start filming. Prime Video has officially greenlit Kaleb, Down Under, a new 4-episode series following Clarkson's Farm breakout star Kaleb Cooper as he swaps the rolling paddocks of England's Chipping Norton for the vast agricultural heartlands of Australia. The farming contractor, known for his straight-talking charm and deep love of home, will embark on his first solo trip abroad to explore farming on a scale he's never experienced before. Since launching in 2021, Clarkson's Farm has become one of the world's most watched agricultural docuseries, giving urban audiences a front-row seat to the trials and tribulations of modern farming. The show follows Jeremy Clarkson, television journalist and former co-host of the globally popular Top Gear series, as he attempts to run his own working farm in Oxfordshire following the retirement of its longtime manager. As viewers follow Jeremy's often chaotic education under Kaleb's guidance in running a full-time farm, the show has won acclaim for the role it has played in helping the wider community to understand the regulatory hurdles, seasonal challenges and cost pressures farmers must overcome to viably produce food and fiber for the world's consumers. The series was acknowledged with a major award from the National Farmers Union in recognition of the role it has played in helping to bridge the gap between farmers and consumers, a legacy that has stretched well beyond the UK's shores to Australia as well. Throughout the upcoming series, Kaleb will meet Australian farmers, immerse himself in rural culture, and get a hands-on look at how producers operate in some of the most challenging farming conditions on the planet. I spend most of my time with the most traveled man in the world, so I got brave and booked my first ever flight to see what all the fuss was about. Australia, here I come, said Kaleb. And Australia, you'll be gaining a new farmer for a couple of months as I discover if I can make my farming contracting business go international. And while the Outback adventure may sound idyllic, Prime Video's media release pledges this will be no holiday. Kaleb won't shy away from the gritty realities of farm work while he's out there, blisters, burns, backaches and all. Kaleb Cooper has won our hearts with his no-nonsense farming wisdom and unmistakable charm. Seeing him swap his beloved Chipping Norton for the vast Australian outback promises brilliant entertainment as he encounters farming on a whole new scale, said Tara Urer, head of UK and Northern Europe Originals, Amazon MGM Studios. We're proud to bring this next chapter of Kaleb's journey to Prime Video. Production for Kaleb, Down Under will begin this autumn, with the series set to stream on Prime Video. An official release date has not yet been announced.